are just doing some tryouts today. And yeah. This is alright. Alright. Whoa, they have FNC. What is this?
I don't know if you should get cab, Mila. I really like Mila. Mila looks nice. I don't know if you should go with cab.
I don't know what this is.
Or
Yo, guys. What is this? What is this? What is it today, guys? Let's go see. Let's go see. Let's just go check. Come on, let's go. Alright.
Wait, how do you see it? Wait a minute,
Alright, come on. Let's see what's going on, guys.
Yeah, see, I'm gonna go down to cab and see what hers is.
Alright, let's see what's going on, guys.
You should probably go.
Let's go to big screen. Let's see what's going on. Because I have no idea. The heck?
Obviously, with that victory we're now going through, but also
What?
as in Jelty pushing themselves up into 5th and 6th and taking advantage
Oh,
of
phased
the
up.
fact that Blake went down so early. Some other familiar names on there. Illis, who did really well during the qualifiers, Seth, who had a strong heat performance yesterday, and then the veterans, phase dubs and Class, rounding it out in 9th and 10th, and doing it on the back of a placement style with both only holding 2 eliminations.
The other thing I want to point out on the top of this page right here is Coop in 2nd place. You saw how he clutched up in that game. You saw how he had pretty much no chance of staying alive, and he still did it and got one more elim before he went down to push himself even further up. That will matter as time goes on. There in 12th place is Divine, the 2nd place performer in that game, and he got 5 elims in that one too, tied with what DeRoller did. But I wanted to note in that game how many people got eliminations. It was pretty much the entire lobby taking each other out elimination after elimination, not giving the chance for DeRoller at the top to really, really take advantage of that opportunity that you mentioned, Sunday.
Ah, Booga!
Roll on over to the next page here. You can see A1 Sid 21st,
Booga!
Crunchy, Vanish, Bully,
They're trash!
Cozy's Clicks in 26th with only 2 eliminations, but that signals means he has 10 placement points. He's
Booga!
into those top 25 thresholds. If he's able to
You don't know who
convert
Booga
on any
is?
one of those, he has the potential to really rocket himself up the leaderboard. And honestly, I think your point, Bala, when talking about how so many different players are getting eliminations, is
wow,
what kind of feeds into
Booga
Zig's
is
point
not
where
the
it
best
feels like
player
it's
in the
not
game.
necessarily
He is
as
not the
exciting.
best
That's
player.
because all
There's
the
no
excitement
way.
is being spread across 5 or 6 different players who are picking up either 4 to 6 eliminations, rather than them all funneling into that 1, 9, 10, maybe 11 or 12 elimination performance that we saw out of Tayson earlier. But the effect it has on the leaderboard is all of a sudden, if somebody doesn't have that huge game, it's whoop, everybody's that much closer.
And that's what the Vanish Boys did take advantage of, right? Kaz and both the Roller, they've suddenly come out of nowhere, right? With these, everyone at the top eliminating each other to say, okay, you created this opportunity for us, we will take advantage of it.
And that's kind of the story of DeRoller too. Like back in the Invitational, he won that one day before we went to the Grand Finals, and I was asking myself, where did this guy come from? And he's showing that that wasn't necessarily a fluke. We're gonna take a look at what happened in this one. Blake started off a little decent in this one, but like you said, Sundown, opportunities were all of a sudden given.
Yeah, and he fell over there. You can see D-Roller getting a key elimination there right on the placement threshold, going to push himself over. And we talked about picking up key ones on the edge. That's eliminating health as he's rotating into zone, and it gave him priority spacing and enough materials to be able to convert over. He picks up Ronaldo there as well. So D-Roller really running through some high-level players he's used to seeing in the endgame. And then once you get here, he's so good at executing in those final moments and turning it into a lead. But his org mate Kaz also able to find some huge picks. He was playing this mid-ground situation with that charged shotgun. I mean, that reaction shot there on the Daxter was huge.
And it was. No look for more through the windows. This is what these guys are so good at, no matter the situation, always still looking for the opportunity to get the consistent points out of elims that you can find in the end game. Something you're not used to is how easy it is to get end game eliminations when you play normal games. But when there's this much congestion in a tight space, you see players like Jelty be able to put people in uncomfortable situations. That's Dubs, one of the best solo players in the world, and he gets put down by Jelty because he's back against the wall.
Buena suerte y vamos, Jelty, one of our Latin American players who's been so absurdly consistent in terms of making it into the end game, and I'm excited that he was able to get a number of eliminations there because his ability to make it in the top 20 time and time again, he has such a high percentage of conversion rate on that if he's able to start getting these eliminations, he could push into potentially challenging for that top spot.
Man, this is the question, right? With 4 games left, who can do that? Who will do that? As a reminder, in EU, we thought it was all set, and in Game 5, everything was turned on its head. That could still happen. That still has the opportunity. It's not over until that last game is played, and we can take a look at the final results. So guys, we are getting ready to hop back into game. If you are tuning in, thank you so much for hanging out with us. This is Grand Finals here in the FNCS. We're in NA East. We've got 4 games left to go. EU happened earlier. It's been an incredible day. With that being said, though, it is time to jump out of the battle bus yet again. So let's send it over to our casters, Monster D-Face and Aussie Antics, to give us the eyes in the sky.
Hello?
There you guys have it. You heard it from the best of the best. We're hopping back in to the FNCS Grand Finals NA East game number 3. It's Monster D-Face, Aussie Antics here on the horn to deliver the action. And the question here, Aussie, is can D-Roller, who's had a taste of success, that first place, hold it through? Because the last time he was in a Grand Finals setting, he fell short, coming 44th place during the FNCS Invitationals. But this time, he's in first place after 2 games. I don't know.
Alright guys, I'm just going through my settings.
1 win.
God, hello.
You make yourself the target. Everyone's looking for you. Everyone knows you now. And D-Roller has been the target before in FNCS Invitationals. Can he do it in the next solo FNCS now? Can he have the consistency as Polarize takes down Keox in the feed, which I have to think means Keox has changed the drop spot and gone Caddy. Because I was going to say, when we saw that map, I saw a few extra eyes on Caddy that weren't there last time.
That's right. Players trying to step it up and take the action into their own hands. Here's the thing, though. I want to set the stage up. Players that I'm looking out for that are scary, consistent, and they're doing it today already. It's players like Dubs, who already pulled a top 5 and a near top 10. Players like Jelty, who are doing the same as well, just shy top 10 2 games in a row. And players like Azers, that consistency. We know that over the marathon, that is the 6 games, that mental fortitude, having great games, even if they're not wins or big pop-offs, just making endgame and knowing your formula works is going to be able to give you the confidence to surge you through after the 6. So keep an eye out on those guys because they have been the most consistent and the least volatile so far. I mean, if you've been watching throughout the qualifiers, we all know Dubs has some of the best placement that this scene has to offer. So he is a pioneer of rotates and making endgames. We'll see, though, as the competition continues here. Because this is still game number 3 and things are just getting started for us.
Yeah, and you got to look at some of their drop spots as well. So obviously Dubs coming out of Fortilla, which means if he can get into that vault, he has a guaranteed launch pad, but it also means that he's walking away with consistently good loot. Some of these players having good games out of more shamble pass have to rely on luck a little bit more. Do you find a few stacks of minis? Do you find the big pot? Do you find what you need? Where Dubs is coming out of Fortilla every single game with what he needs. And because of the water and because of the geysers in that area, the
upstairs, one upstairs, I think.
With eliminations being 1. So you get your first points when you get inside top 75, top 50, and then so on, as you can see from this graphic. But that win, 14 points in. Ooh, we see Zolaf getting some really big shots onto ult. Not sure what happened there, but he also fishes up the legendary tac shotgun. So big swing from Zolaf there within 2 seconds. His game is looking very good and very different.
Listen, I was hyped that he pulled a legendary shotgun out the
too.
water, and then to be rewarded with the Elam right there. My gosh, talk about a nice game for Zoloft to kick things off. Not so nice game for Altu. We'll have to figure out what happened there, but regardless, though, on the other perspective, Bugha, who had a decent game too, he went from 1 point coming out of game 1 to securing 9 points in game 2. That is huge. That's massive. At the start of the show, Ozzy, we spoke about the fact that you need anywhere from like 8 to 10 to be the champ on average. Bugha's closing that gap now, right? If he can have a good game 3, that's setting himself up for the great halfway mark.
I still can't believe how ridiculous that is. When we talk about a win being worth 14 points, and you have to average around 10
Wow,
just to win
phase
an
person.
in one of these regions. And
Phase
you're doing it against the best of the best.
person.
It is incredible. And Bugha,
Fake phase.
obviously, your solo World Cup winner, still holding on to that mantle, still holding on to
Phase
that
by the fake phase.
almost won one of the qualifying weeks, showing that he can still do it and perform on the day. The zone so far, he did that out of a different drop, though. He did that out of Rickety Rig, and now he's switched it up to Misty, but still, Misty being a very strong drop. So far, him and Stretch having each side of Misty and being relatively safe. I've seen them taking a few tags, but they're not launching full-on assaults, and they're both playing well as Blake, another person who has another scary name with him at his drop, clicks over here, who I believe is the one who's probably taking shots onto him, and he's only got 3 minis and a whole spot free. So these are the kind of players I'm talking about who are going those more shamble loot paths. I know Pleasant Park might not sound shambles, but when you've got another person there and you've got another people getting all the loot before you rotate, he's walking out with not that much.
Yeah, more importantly, if he gets jammed up on any of these rotates and gets tagged like this, that's where you start to fall behind quickly, because look, he's already down another mini now being tagged from an AR from that distance. And just like that, you suddenly and slowly fall behind. You lose that early game lead that you were starting to build up. Blake, he kind of fizzled out that last game. He put 21 minutes into the second game to only secure about 3 points. He fell at 46 points, or 46th place with only 1 elimination. And that's after coming after the Victory Royale with 6 elims. So he's a bit volatile right now, that halfway mark, and oh my gosh, as I speak about volatility, he falls to a headshot snipe from Stowe here. Massive.
Yeah, we talk about it. We talk about 6-game formats. We talk about how mentally grueling this is, the amount of pressure, the amount of time put into this, and then your game 3 gets ended within a millisecond like that. He falls, Blake goes down, all that loot goes over to Stowe, and now Blake has to sit back and spend 20 to 30 minutes watching, thinking about what he could have done differently, when honestly it is so hard to think what you should have done when it comes down to a headshot snipe. But at the end of the day, the rotates can be different, the builds can be different, but Blake is going to be very upset with that one, and he has to bounce back. He has to keep his mental in check, because he's still on pace. We talked about it. 10 points every game is what you need to win this one. He's on 30, and this is game 3. So if he keeps up the consistency, he will be okay. But unfortunately, Blake picking up game 1 win, the last 2 games not going as great for him.
And that's the rough part, right? Proving yourself, proving to the community that you're not just a team-based game player. Like, you can do it as a solo. He has yet to actually prove that. Even with the strong starts, we've seen him come out the gate swinging and then continue to fall. It just seems like that is how his history's been written time and time again. But don't worry, we still have half a competition in front of us. This is only game 3, and it is just kicking up, ladies and gentlemen. But okay, Clix has high ground. He's got the mountain on check. It looks like he's probably even put some tags down, so he might be chilling as far as the Storm Surge goes. On the other side, though, here's FaZe Dubs taking it up with Azers. I gave FaZe Dubs a lot of credit at the start of this, talking about his consistency to make it through the end game, and he's already engaging onto a mid-game fight, or early game fight, with the player that's in top 4. So this is 2 top 10 players, potentially, holding out one another here in the Storm line.
Yeah, and he has to make this rotate, but again, it's that loot. Look at, he takes the tags, but he's got the minis, he's got the bigs, he's got 6 crash pads and the launch pad. A lot of these tournaments are decided from the drop, but you have to have respect on your name. You need to have people respect you enough to not want to drop with you. Dubs obviously having done that. One of the most decorated competitive players in history, a World Cup player. He is phenomenal, and he's holding down Fortilla right now, getting the loot and getting out. He's late into this rotate. He's got the crash pads if he wants to use them. I hope he'll be able to hold on to it. Member of SF this is here at the fish farm, and I think this addition to the game is super underrated. Look.
He's not holding him not just yet, though. He's got one more shot left in the hard. Let's see what he's going to be able to kind of fish up here. And that one elimination is going to be a big frag. You can see he's sitting on quite a pool of loot here. The excess material inside the box, the excess of floppers sitting on the dock here. Now that he has zone, though, this might work for him. Yeah, he's got so much to choose from.
He can hold this down. He's got all the loot in the world. He can kind of just box around this, maybe hold it and come back for it if he needs it. It's just, I haven't really seen this drop spot having too much strength, but I feel like it is such a powerful one. But I guess at the same time, you are very exposed. You need to get your weaponry around here as well. And looks like he has a good rotator, someone to look out for. And you talked about it, people you're looking out for, Monster. I'm really looking out for Coop right now on the feed. Last game was very impressive. He was backed against the wall with low mats, pressure on him, and he performed really well. And Coop is known for that, being a very aggressive controller player who can really back himself in those scrappy end games. But I want to see if he then has the kind of the rotates and the ability to be consistent and avoid those scrappy situations. Because
alright, now I know what's going on. We don't need to worry about it, guys. Now I'm gonna go to my live stream. I don't know, guys. I'm trying to find my whatever. Anyway, I just can't wait for the new item shop, guys. I have 700 V-Bucks, 1,700 V-Bucks. I mean, and I'm not liking the item shop. I mean, like, look at this. And I am so close to get Siona. And then you got this. And below. Nothing below. What?
Welcome to the waves, and to your very...
Nothing below. see if I can buy her. It's 9,000 to get a whole the whole set.
Got the enemy down to 1
Tell me.
and then got headshot. So if you even
Yo.
good, you could have gotten 1 shot, then you would have won.
Hey. Should I get this?
Why would you have got 6 levels from that one? I went up to 11, 12 levels. Easy from just doing the free challenge.
My max, I can go with
You
this,
still probably have all the challenges done.
and then I can do. Oh, what's that? Huh. What's that? Oh, 5 I mean, I don't know if I should do that.
Trying to snipe the kill.
I'll get up to right here.
You thought it was a person?
I want to listen to Billy. Let me listen to Billy, but I need to turn my shit on. Okay. I have the emo. I'm not. Alright. We're going to turn that off. Because I don't like hearing it. Oh! Audio stream. Hit it.